Hello my friends and welcome to a brand new series on the channel where, as you can see, we are taking over Queen's Park. Slight twist to it, it is a modified database, but it's just to change Queen's Park to where they are in real life. They're obviously gone professional or semi-professional is kind of where I'm expecting it to be. So we're taking over from Mark Roberts. We've signed a 1-year deal on £500 per week is what the game has gave us, and you know, I think it's time to get into this. Fairly content. We'll start the season in League 2, of course, where last season they finished 7th. Obviously one of the biggest clubs in Scotland. They do currently play at Hampden Park. The game, as long as everything in the database is working correctly with this load up, it seems to have been a bit temperamental with previous ones, but if it's not, you know, we'll go with this recording, I'll restart it and make do until it is loaded correctly. But I want to start getting recorded and getting the video edited and getting on with this series. You know, I've tried to make sure this database is working as correctly as can be. Unfortunately, it's not quite there yet. So, founded in 1867, Queen's Park are a semi-professional club playing in Ladbrokes League 2. Queen's Park will be looking to build on their mid-table finish for last season. They play their home games at Hampden Park, possess great training facilities, average use facilities, and Trub's clearing ground is Lesser Hampden, where we'll play from next season. The reserves also play there. It's an adequate academy coaching and average youth recruitment. Hopefully we can get that up going forward. Fierce rivalry with Clyde. Obviously we do have a rivalry with both the Old Firm clubs and Partick Thistle as well from memory. Having enjoyed their greatest era during the 1880s, despite having not won anything for 19 years, the Spiders have a successful history, boasting 18 competition wins. Here are some of their highlights. Queen's Park have won the Scottish Cup on 10 occasions, finished runners-up on 2 occasions, won the Scottish tier, second tier in 1923 and 1956, won the Scottish third tier for a long time in 1981, and the fourth tier in 2000, finishing runners-up on a couple of occasions. That's their history, and I'm sure there's a stat somewhere that say Queen's Park are the only Scottish team to have played in an English FA Cup final as well. I might be wrong on that. I will double check it. Your Kurt's coaching staff are recommending this formation, which is quite interesting. It's a 5-2-3 is the way I would describe that. We've got some interesting players. Obviously this will change and I need to assess them properly. Again, a lot of the stats at this area are randomised, so when I've done my test runs, you know, the stats have changed quite consistently on a number of players, so regardless of how many test runs I have, I need to reassess the squad before we really get on with this save, before I decide the in and outs. So required is to develop players, or preferred rather, to develop players using the club's youth system. That's perfectly fine. We've got a few very good young players with high potential, including Rhys Thompson, who is linked with Newcastle in real life at the current moment in time. We've to reach the playoffs of League 2, try and reach the Scottish Cup third round, be competitive in the Betfred Cup. I'm going to kind of treat the Betfred Cup as pre-season. I won't show any of those games for that reason. You know, we experiment formation, squad and whatnot, and, you know, tinkering. And basically the club vision is just to continue reaching the playoffs of League 2. So I think that's fairly consistent. Do you know what? Can I unselect all these? No, I would like not to do these. Right, let's just get them all out of the way, because otherwise I'll get annoyed at them coming through at some point or other. So just send them all. We'll get them out of the way as quickly as we can, off camera obviously, and go from there. So we'll go to next, and we'll accept all that, of course. In fact, apart from the interest, in fact I will take the intra-squad friendly, because again it lets me do the thing. A bit of extra pre-season. So we'll get in. I'm going to go assess the squad. I'll be back in a second with more information. So I'm going to start off by going through. There's 138 database changes. It's actually a lot less than that, but as I said, for a few test runs, and you know, every time you do a test run, you go back and you do more tinkering. So one of the big issues that I had was down to the wage budget. So if we go to the wage budget, as you can see, wage budget is £2,335. Now that's low for the league. The edited database that I have created is supposed to give a 6,000 wage budget, which is high end for this league, but not the highest. Which is also why we've got a very high transfer budget. So I'm going to straight away, we can't do that just yet. I know when we can do that. So that's one of the changes. We've got the Hampden money in there. Now someone has said to me since that the Hampden money comes in at the end of the season. If that does happen, we'll just live with it, because I don't want to be editing too many times and, you know, making things, as I said, already 138 changes shown. It's nowhere near that. Most of the things that has been changed is trying to fix this wage budget issue, which I've since been told is a bug on the SI forums, because I wanted to keep all the players on non-contract. So it was at the start of the season when they were in that transition period that they're now going through in real life. All the players in real life have, I believe, been offered part-time contracts. So it's not overly unrealistic that they've all got contracts. I just, you know, I've had to kind of guess what's realistic now. I've went on and offered them all contracts at separate times, had to reload the save a number of times, come back and do a bit more, and see what they would accept. And I went off what I was able to negotiate, and this is where I've ended up having to make so many changes, because every time I've done it, I've went, this isn't balanced. And the reason for that is I went in and offered players who were slightly better than what we had, and I'd be happy to accept £30–40 a week, because that was within our wage structure. And I didn't think that was necessarily correct. So again, I've had to go back out and I've edited it a few times now. I think the last time I done a test run and had a little go, it was at 1,500–600 sort of area. We're now up to 2,235, which is very, very low for the league. Again, I don't think it's the lowest, but it's probably there or thereabouts. We do have a fairly small squad, and we do have some youth that I've not assessed yet. But I've had a look at the first team, and I want to play a 4-2-3-1 now. I've not set this tactic up correctly to how I want to play yet, but I think right now this is our best squad. There's some key, very key issues that I'm going to highlight straight away. Lundurn is more advanced, but Purdue can't go back as easy as Lundurn can. So I've kind of been forced to try and squeeze them both in the team. David Gates fairly good, Martin's okay. 3.5 star Willie Muir seems to be the benchmark for what is a good player in this league. So, you know, that's telling us straight away that we've got issues. If he's 3.5 star, we're needing at least a right winger, an entire new defence, and a striker if we're wanting to compete really at the top end of the league. Because this is our best squad all the way around. Adegi man could maybe rotate with Mortimer down here, but again, not ideal. Reece Thompson, who I mentioned previously, is the only one who doesn't have a contract right now because of his age. So the only thing that I changed with him was the start date, so that I could negotiate a contract with him very, very late in the season, and he wouldn't have the I've just signed a new contract issue, and then someone comes and poaches him, and I get very little money for him. Defence is a major, major issue, and this is where I'm probably going to focus most of my time, trying to replace people. If we have a look at Scott Gibson, acceleration 5, pace 9, no real jumping reach to him as well, he's 5'8". Jamieson, 6'4", he's got a jumping reach of 12, but again it's 7'9". If we go to our other centre backs, it doesn't get much better. In fact, here's a 4, 5 for pace in Cammy Foy. Bags of potential, and he actually had some pretty decent stats that we could work with. But if you know how I play, I have never had success with slow defenders in Football Manager, ever. And Craig Little is similar sort of mould again, 6'5", so again he's got a decent jumping reach of 11 for this level, but again 6 and 8 pace. And this is something that I'm seeing across the entire team, is low physicals. So we're in a bit of a problem here now. I do think it's a bit of a risk having a ball playing defender at this level. They're all sort of no nonsense defenders, the odd one central defender. But I feel for the way that I want to play and build this tactic, at least the primary tactic, where we're going for wins, we need to be playing out the back, and we need to have a ball playing defender for that. And you know, Gibson right now, hopefully he's not our starting defender when it comes down to it, but he does have a passing of 10, which is about acceptable at this level. If it doesn't work, we can bring Tommy Block back into defence. He's got a passing of 11, and obviously decent tackling. He's actually slightly quicker than the other two as well, and he would obviously go on the right hand side. But he's more natural in that ball winning midfield role, and we would just bring in Reece Thompson into that ball winning midfield role, where again he's not quite maybe ready yet, but at 15, probably by the end of the season he's ready. He's got 18 determination as well, and then we'd have to look through our youth. In fact, let's have a look through our youth together. So squad, we've got Elliot Anderson, 5-star potential goalkeeper. Okay, it doesn't look anywhere near ready. Decent determination, so hopefully he can develop. We've got another centre back here. Again, 6'2", but the physicals, big issue. He is not ready for the first team by any stretch of the imagination, but could fill in as an emergency backup, I think. We've got another central midfielder here. He's not really suited for either of our roles, according to this. You know, we've got a ball winning and advanced playmaker, which, given a 7 tackling, we'd probably need to work him into. 19, not the best determination. I don't see him hitting that 5-star potential straight away, to be honest. Asisa, striker, is actually not that bad. I don't think he's actually that far, but he's 23. Which might be his issue. We can maybe promote, in fact we will promote him to the first team straight off the bat because he's 23. There's no point in him sitting in the reserves. And Kieran Moore, again 19, okay determination, but not really built anywhere else, is he? Squad wise, for the youth team, we've got another goalkeeper here, Kieran McDougall, another 5-star potential. Decent determination, a fair bit off the first team, let's be honest with that. We've got Luke Main, who in my test runs has been very good. In fact, this is the worst I have seen him stat wise. Determination of 5, low passing, decent vision, and okay off the ball and poor decisions. This is the worst I have seen him when I've looked, actually. I've seen him have fairly decent passing vision the first couple of times I looked, certainly. And Ross McFarlane, who is actually probably our quickest player, but he can't really jump, which is frustrating. But again, he's a long way off the first team. That free composure does not bode well for any sort of striker. Staff-wise, I know we're very low on staff. As you can see, we've got 1 scout, 1 chief scout in the recruitment team. Medical team, we have a head physio, and we've got a head of youth development and 1 coach. Now, I know that our head of youth development is going to be the best that we can get. I'll go into reasons why, but I know from one of my other runs where I've discovered how unbalanced the wage bill was, and I'll show you how contracts are now. This is how I've set out the wage structure. So again, tell me if you think this is wrong and needs adjusted, and I will try and address that obviously over the course of the series. Most of these are 1-year deals, so it will change very quickly throughout the series, but this is the way I've sort of set it out. This was based on what I could offer, and obviously I've not test run it with this structure, but I think it's hopefully going to be enough to get us going. Now with the series, I want to take it more, it's going to be more about the club, it's going to be more about Queen's Park, their development into being professional, and going from there. I think it's going to be very much building for the future, you know, trying to work out who's going where and whatnot, and developing the squad as one. And that is what this one's going to be about. So what we're going to do is we've got all our players in the last year contract. In fact, recently signed a new deal, or not good enough is really, in fact I'm surprised they're saying Billy Mortimer's not good enough, but actually when he's one of our better players, he probably isn't in all honesty, but he is one of our better players. Tactics induction, I'm going to try and skip all these inductions because, you know, they're just going to irritate me. So we've already seen our vision, we're going to accept that vision now, and that means that we can go to finances and adjust this wage budget. I'm going to swing it all the way like that. That'll give us 4,670 wage budget, which is still 1,400 short of where I wanted this wage budget to be, by the way. But again, the transfer budget's slightly more, but I'm trying to balance it with the database, and you know, the database is nowhere near working perfect. So transfer wise, I think we're going to need, in fact, let's go to team report, because squad depth, you know, I've probably not picked the best players. So role suitability, no. Position overview, nope. all current ability, right, reserves. In fact, I'll switch to the head of youth development. So it's saying that Mortimer's my best striker here. It's saying that Loudon's the best attacking midfielder. Can see straight away a lack of depth. In all honesty, you know, we've got 4 players to cover these 3 positions, so we're going to need at least one, probably 2 central midfielders. Need wingers, certainly right hand side. Probably need a left hand side one as well. Fullbacks, it's saying Clark over Summers, which is interesting, and Grant over Clark on this side. Again, central defence, we've highlighted this as a big problem area. Goalkeepers look okay. Hegarty, I'm sure you're quite young as well actually, you're only 16. Might be worth trying to give you some games as and when we can. Determination of 5 might be a bit of an issue, but a 16-year-old goalkeeper with 5-star potential, that is worth a risk, I think. So I'm going to leave this episode here, guys. I'm going to try and build the staff together. I'm going to try and build the team. We will come back for the first league game. I'm going to give the Betfred Cup sort of a time for me to feel my way in with this squad. You know, pick up the tactics. That Aberdeen friendly could probably get compacted at home and that. Can probably, you know, work with that. And it will be Elgin City, unless I have to, you know, restart and rebalance some of the database again. It will be Elgin City. If it's not, I will let you know next episode. But I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you want to stick around, watch the series. I will do my best to, you know, make sure the database is working as well as it can, because we don't want a bad series because the database isn't good. We've got time to build the squad. We've got a reasonable amount of money, a bit more than what I like to spend. So I'm only going to spend 60,000 of it this season. That based on what, and obviously change that based on what we bring in. And going forward, but I want to make sure that we as a club are moving forward. The transfer budget, as I said, is more than I wanted to give the club right now. If there is an issue with the £5 million for Hampden, then I can only apologise, and we'll figure out a way to waste £5 million at some point in the series. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. Tune in for more, hit like, hit subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.